Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. I've got the oak tree that I did a trunk chop on in the summer when it wasn't thriving and doing well. So let's take a closer look and see what's going on. I collected this tree in, I think it was sort of March last year. I did all the usual things of just putting it in some nice free draining soil. I got as many fine roots with it as I could when I was collecting, put it in this pot. And oaks normally do well for me, and this one did not thrive at all. I think in hindsight, I don't think I watered it enough. I think I was underwatering it, but it came to the point where I saw some buds lower down and I just went for it, did a big chop, well, two chops because it's a twin trunk. So I chopped it here, obviously, and here, and those buds that I was hoping that they'd sprout, they went boom, and we've got what we can see here, which is fantastic. But I think now's the time that I need to take some of these shoots off, possibly wire some of them and sort out these nubs up the top. We can see here we've got lots of buds near the top of the tree. I've got to avoid inverse taper up at this top, so I need to sort this out. Down here we had quite a distance before any branches appeared, but we have got a branch coming, a bud that's formed at the back, but it's not in a good place. I don't really want a branch coming from the back because it means if I chop this, I'll see a big wound at the front. So my kind of temptation is to grow this as the new leader. But for the time being, I'll just leave that and focus on this one here, because we've got a lovely branch right at the front. There's so many branches coming from there. Something's got to go. And in fact, most of these branches have to go except this, which is going to be the new apex. So I could use either of these. This one would sort of, I'd come up across and this would take me back this way. But this one's coming nicely out of the front, so the wound would be at the back. So with that in mind, that's my decision. It's a very healthy branch, this one as well, so this is going to grow on really strongly and really pull that sap up. So let's get rid of everything else. So if we're keeping this, that has to go. All of these have to go. I think my cutters need sharpening actually. They're a bit blunt. Could I keep both of those? I think I definitely could. I could keep them both and have the trunk coming up and then divided into two. But no, I just want to have one main leader coming up. So I've made the decision. Now I can use my cutters to just nibble away. I'm actually waiting for an order. I've ordered a Japanese pull saw to do this kind of work. People have been saying for years, you need to get yourself a nice pull saw, and I really do. But for a job like this, my cutters will do it. Yeah, they just need sharpening these a bit. Mind you, they've had a lot of use since I got them. Yeah, they're just not quite biting in the middle. So I'm just working my way down. Obviously you can see what I'm doing. I'm just chewing these pieces away. It's quite interesting oak. it can have thick, very thick bark. It's obviously the cork bark is where they get cork from, the cork bark oak. So this, it's just not cutting this. I don't know if something's damaged in the blade. Seems nice, but it's like it's, oh, they're not biting together. The ends, they're like overlapping. That's why. I must have damaged them somehow. I think I'll sort of grind that back later and see what I can do. You can just see they're not working. I'll get my other pair. Here we go, these'll do. These are a knob cutter. So straight away that's cutting much nicer. I noticed on the video yesterday that I did of my home beam that it was seeming to struggle and not make nice clean cuts. So I'm just not quite used to using this tool. I love that hybrid cutter. I'll take it off the turntable. The hybrid cutter works really well. I love the control it gives. But it's no good if it don't work. When I started with my first trees a couple of years ago, I didn't have any bonsai tools, and I was doing all this with a traditional woodworker's chisel. And you can do a pretty neat job. You don't need specific bonsai tools really. I'm just sort of tapering that down and then hollowing it out a bit. There we go. This is like the ultimate gripping viewing, isn't it? But this is the part of this is bonsai work. Right, now let me look from the point of view of the camera. See how we're doing with that from round here. So that comes across nicely, and from the front that looks good. That does look good. I don't want to go too tight in at the top here. I want to leave a little edge, but I want it to be neat to allow new tissue to form. So that's excellent. I've noticed lots of buds at the base here, and I want to rub those out. So we can see here loads of them forming, and all I'll do is just use my nail and just pick them all off so that they don't grow, because the last thing I want is any swelling in this area. I want this just to naturally thicken up with this branch. So this is the part I want to thicken, not this. So there, so that's gone. I'm going to get me wood chisel actually and work on this cut. I normally, as I said before, I get a nice finish with my hybrid cutters, but just by using one of my woodworking chisels, I can get that lovely, very clean, nice edge. And even here where the bark is, if I cut that really nice and cleanly like that, it'll just make for much better healing. There. That's nice. That's much nicer. And I'm slicing with it, if you see, as I go. And the smoother and cleaner this is, the better and more likely the tree is to heal and roll over. And that's lovely now. That's really nice and flat. It's got a nice clean edge. And that'll take the cut paste that I put on it really well. But I won't do that yet because I have a tendency to get it on my clothes. So that's the first one done. So that I can see what's going on down here, I'm going to remove some of these branches that I know definitely won't be in the composition. So they're gone. These in here, again, there's no way they're part of any kind of final composition. So at least that allows me to see what's going on in here a bit better. This one, will that ever be in a composition? No, that can go also. So we've cleared those out nicely. That's quite funny. I was just waiting for a plane to fly over, so I stopped filming, and as I did, I got a package through the post. Oh, I thought it was my Japanese pull saw, so I could use it on this trunk, but it's not. It's a piece of plastic tubing to sort out, help deal with a leak that I've got in my roof. Ah well, that was disappointing. I thought that was going to be a big reveal, but ah well, back to the original plan. I'll just cut these lumps back, cut those back nice and quite deeply really to get them well in, so they don't become big swollen features. There we go. Now to deal with this, and I've not got my saw. Ah well, no, can't cut with that. I think I'll be able to cut this with secateurs. And I decided on this being the new leader. It's quite low. I'm going to get rid of this back branch and just let's go for this. Ah, there we go. Lovely. I know there's loads of bonsai geeks out there like me, and what happened is I cut through the edge of that branch and the muscle at the bottom of the branch, and you can see where the sort of wood from that branch goes into the main trunk there in a little V. I just thought that was quite interesting. I'm just going to work my way down now, again using this knob cutter to just nibble away. This is not as effective as the hybrid cutter. That's enough of that. Let's get the woodworker chisel on it and do some nice clean cuts. This is the last bit, just cleaning up this bark along this edge. There, that's looking lovely now, that. So let's take a look at what we've got so far now. There. So that's the front of the tree. Looking good. We've got this as a new leader. This up here as a new leader. Got a really nice branch there. Really nice branch here, but that one below it, there's no need for that. That can go. This one here, is there a need for that? I don't think this is in too bad a place. So I'm going to leave that one. I'll remove this one below it. All these little ones here can yeah, that's a very weak branch that. That's no good. Ideally I'd have a branch coming out from here somewhere, but I suspect it'll set buds and send stuff out from here this year, and this one won't really be necessary. As for this one, I don't think either of those are going to be in the final design, if I'm honest. But what I will do is, I'm going to leave them just for the health of the tree at the moment, just to get it through the spring. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to go for it. There's no need for them. They're not in the design. Oaks are tough. There we go. So we're down to 5 branches. And I don't like this one. And I think in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's go. Right. Now there are no more branches being cut off this tree. That is a guarantee. These are all needed. So we've got our design there. I've applied 2 pieces of wire. Oh, in fact, I didn't finish applying this one. I'm just avoiding all the buds. I don't want to damage any of these branches. And it's now decision time. I know that this one, because this is going to be the new apex of the tree, hopefully, all I'll do is I'm not doing anything special with it. I'm just taking it across into that position. That's there, that's done. Likewise with the one at the top. Nothing particularly special. It just comes up and goes up. That'll be the most healthy way for it to be. And I'll end up cutting this back down the line to one of these buds for taper, but for the time being now, this just is allowed to just go. I'll just add a little bit more though, just so that when I do cut it back in the future, it's not a dead straight piece. There. This one is a lovely branch, and all I want to do with this is nothing crazy. I'll do it from this direction. I'm just bringing it across, taking it back round, allowing this bud to be on the outside of a bend, and then take the branch upwards so that it's a nice healthy branch. And this one, this is the back branch, and ideally I'd like this to kind of fill into this space here. So I'd like this to come around. I'm supporting that base because that's where it'd crack. If it's going to crack it, and then again bringing it upwards. So from the front, this branch now kind of goes through and fills that space, which looks good. I just wonder if this branch perhaps should come down here first before it goes across. So down like that. Yeah, that looks better. I like that. Bring that down and round like that. Yeah, I like that. And then again, point it up. It's important that all these branches point upwards because I need them to be healthy. There's only 4 of them left. It's a funny thing, bonsai. I collected this tree, thought it was dead, chopped it down, it grew really healthily, then you cut it back, do all this kind of work, and now it's got 4 branches, which is 4 more than it had last April time, and it's got lots of buds. The roots I think will have done really well, and I think that's going to be ready for a nice year of growth now. So I think it seemed quite extreme what I did today, but sometimes, you know, we have to go extreme on trees, and I'm looking forward to updating you on the progress of this in the spring. You know, show you what happens with these branches. Hopefully they all come into leaf and it has another healthy year. That's the plan anyway. As always, thanks for joining me. Have a great day and I'll see you soon.